to Inspirational Systemic Insights, where we focus on healing hearts, transforming lives, and awakening expanded consciousness. Today, we're diving into a concept that not only impacts how we lead others, but how we lead ourselves. So I would like to talk a little bit about systemic leadership, leading with vision and empathy. Now that we've explored what systemic leadership is and why it's so crucial, let's dive deeper into the key qualities that make a systemic leader truly effective. These qualities not only enable leaders to navigate complex systems, but also foster environments where individuals and organizations can thrive. The first key is deep listening. One of the most fundamental qualities of a systemic leader is deep listening. But what does that really mean? Deep listening is more than just hearing words. It's about tuning into the underlying emotions, intentions, and dynamics at play. What is not said? What is not seen? Systemic leaders create spaces where every voice is not only heard, but deeply valued. They recognize that each person in the system has a unique perspective, and by listening attentively, leaders gather crucial insights into the overall health and functionality of the system. When leaders practice deep listening, they make others feel respected and acknowledged. This simple act of attentiveness fosters trust and openness, creating a safe space where team members feel comfortable sharing their ideas and concerns. This, in turn, encourages transparency and collaboration, which are essential for the success of any system. A systemic leader might, for example, hold regular open forums or team meetings where every participant is encouraged to share their thoughts without fear of judgment. They don't just focus on what is being said, but also pay attention to what is left unsaid, the subtle cues, the body language, or recurring patterns. This way, they can understand the deeper needs of the team and act on them effectively. The second essential key is inclusive decision-making. Unlike traditional leadership models where decisions are often made by a select few at the top, systemic leaders invite participation from all levels of the organization or community. They recognize that by incorporating diverse perspectives, they can make decisions that are not only better informed, but also more sustainable for the entire system. Inclusive decision-making means that leaders don't just prioritize individual gain or short-term results. Instead, they look at the long-term collective impact of their decisions on the entire system. This process might take more time initially, but it fosters buy-in from everyone involved, leading us to a smoother implementation and a stronger commitment to the outcome. For instance, before launching a new initiative, a systemic leader might gather input from employees at every level of the organization to ensure that the decision benefits all. They consider how the decision will impact not just the bottom line, but also the team's well-being, the company culture, and even the larger community. This collective approach leads to decisions that resonate more deeply with the values and goals of the system. And the third key Humility and self-awareness are often overlooked qualities in leaders, but they're essential for systemic leadership. Systemic leaders understand that they are part of the system, not above it. And this is the key. You are an equal part, an important equal part with an important mission. Systemic leaders regularly engage in self-reflection, acknowledging their own limitations, biases, and blind spots. This humility allows them to remain open to feedback and learning, which is crucial in a constantly evolving system. Humility in leadership is about letting go of the need to be the hero. And by recognizing that leadership is a shared journey, self-aware leaders can admit that they are wrong, seek advice from others, and continuously grow. They also set a powerful example for their teams, showing that vulnerability is not a weakness, but a strength that fosters authenticity and trust. A good example of humility in leadership might be a CEO who, after receiving constructive criticisms from their team, openly acknowledges they need to change their approach. This act of self-awareness not only strengthens their credibility, but also encourages others in the organization to be honest and reflective in their own growth. And the fourth key, adaptive thinking. Systems are dynamic. They change, they grow, they evolve over time. This is why adaptive thinking is such a critical quality for systemic leaders. Effective leaders in complex environments need to be flexible and able to adjust their strategies as the system changes. They remain open to new information and are willing to change course when necessary, rather than rigidly sticking to a plan that may no longer serve the system's needs. Adaptive thinkers don't see failure as a setback, but as an opportunity for learning. They have the ability to zoom out and see the larger picture, while also zooming in to make necessary adjustments in real time. So it's about being able to look at the bigger picture and seeing which part of the picture needs a little bit of tweaking. This quality is especially important in today's fast-paced world, where leaders are often faced with rapidly shifting challenges that require quick, thoughtful responses. Consider a leader in a tech company who, in the middle of a project, realizes that the original plan is no longer relevant due to changes in the market. And instead of pushing forward with an outdated strategy, they pivot and adapt the project to align with the new market trends, ensuring that the system continues to function effectively. And the fifth key, perhaps one of the most powerful qualities of systemic leaderships, is the ability to encourage others' growth. These leaders don't hoard power to seek control. Instead, they empower others within the system to take ownership and lead. This creates a culture of shared leadership where everyone is encouraged to develop their own leadership skills, fostering innovation, accountability, and engagement across the board. Systemic leaders understand when they elevate others, they elevate the entire system. They invest in mentoring, coaching, and creating opportunities for their team members to step up and contribute in meaningful ways. This approach not only strengthens the organization, but also leads to greater job satisfaction and personal fulfillment for individuals within the system. For example, consider the leadership style of Satya Nadella, the CEO of Microsoft. Nadella is known for fostering a growth mindset within the company, encouraging employees at all levels to embrace challenges and learn from them. He focuses on creating an environment where every individual has the opportunity to thrive, leading Microsoft to a culture of continuous innovation and adaptability. Another example of systemic leadership in action is Nelson Mandela. Mandela's leadership was deeply rooted in empathy, vision, and inclusivity. He practiced deep listening by understanding the needs and fears of both his people and his political opponents. Rather than seeking revenge after his release from prison, he focused on inclusive decision-making, forging a path towards unity and reconciliation in post-apartheid South Africa. Mandela's humility and self-awareness were clear in his willingness to learn from his past and recognize that the journey towards freedom was not his alone. He adapted to changing political landscapes and always encouraged the growth of others, empowering a generation to continue the fight for equality and justice. His leadership was systemic in every sense, focusing on healing a nation by recognizing the interconnectedness of its people, their history, and their future. These key qualities, deep listening, inclusive decision-making, humility, adaptive thinking, and the encouragement of others' growth, are the foundation of effective systemic leadership. When leaders embody these qualities, they create environments where individuals and organizations can not only survive, but also thrive. Now that we've explored the key leadership Now that we've explored the key qualities of systemic leadership, let's take a closer look at how these principles play out in real-world setting, both in organizations and in communities. The impact of systemic leadership extends beyond individual success. It creates lasting change that ripples throughout the entire system. And when applied thoughtfully, systemic leadership can transform organizations and communities by fostering collaboration, innovation, and a sense of collective purpose. As we've seen, systemic leadership can drive profound change, whether in the boardroom or in the heart of a community. But systemic leadership isn't reserved for CEOs or community organizers. Each of us can apply these principles in our own teams and environments. I invite you to reflect on how systemic leadership practices could benefit your organization or community. Ask yourself, how can I foster a more collaborative environment? How can I ensure that all voices are heard and valued? How can I create spaces for growth and innovation? By adopting a systemic mindset, you can start making small changes that have a significant and lasting impact, creating environments where individuals feel empowered to contribute to the greater good. Remember, systemic leadership isn't about making huge, sweeping changes overnight. It's about starting small, practicing daily acts of vision and empathy, fostering deeper connections, and being mindful of how your decisions influence the larger system. Each small step you take can create a ripple effect, leading to long-term sustainable transformation. Whether you're cultivating a more collaborative work environment or building a stronger sense of belonging in your community, every action matters. And by adopting this approach, you contribute to healing hearts, transforming lives, and awakening expanded consciousness in the systems around you. Now, I'd love to hear from you. How can you incorporate systemic leadership principles in your own life? What small changes are you inspired to make? Share your experiences and insights on the comments below. Let's create a dialogue that empowers and inspires others. And if you found value in this message, consider subscribing to the channel for more insights on how to create expanded conscious, supportive environments through systemic approaches. Together, we can contribute to learn, grow, and lead with purpose. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Until next time, let's keep leading with vision, empathy, and awareness that we are all part of something greater. See you next time.